Here we go again, round 3 of F1 2009 My Team. This one is going to be the return of the Chinese Grand Prix. Something different, a track we haven't really seen much in recent F1 games or done much because of the real life situation, but it was very much a staple of the F1 calendar, especially back in 2009. Now guys, before we jump into today's action, round 2 went out yesterday. If you haven't seen it, link in the top right for the Bahrain Grand Prix, guys. Go check it out. Big spoiler warning, so this is your chance to now go watch that video before coming back to this one and seeing what happens in Shanghai. So, updates. A lot of stuff to get through. The first one is we failed our Intel sponsorship in terms of answering interview questions, which I thought was actually going to be guaranteed money, but it turns out not every weekend you're going to get constant questions asked. So it looks like that might be a bit more of an inconsistent one, so we may have to review that one down the line. Either way, here is the updated livery. I said for this race we'd have some updates for the car. Intel is now on the shark fin, Siemens Mobile moves to the side pod, and our team logo moves onto the nose cone structure in the form of 97 Racing. So a bit of a reshuffle, revamp, and that will keep changing as more sponsors come on board to the team and we keep moving things around. So let me know what you think in the comments down below of the updated paint job. But yeah, here we go. A lot of stuff to do. We have a big break until the next race. 3.5, 4 weeks give or take until the Chinese Grand Prix. So we're going to get a chance to get a lot of work done, get a lot of upgrades done, and just generally invest and try to improve things in this team. So we're going to start off with activities, and because we have such a large gap between this and the next race, we can pretty much do all of them, which is going to help us out massively in terms of morale, acclaim, and cash flow. Now then, we had a failure on the chassis for the rear floor under tray, so we're going to go ahead and repurchase that upgrade, and that is going to bring our points total down to 789. With that done, we also got the aerodynamic upgrade, which had failed previously, now has officially arrived, so we can go ahead and do another one for the rear downforce, and we're going to now bring 2 more upgrades to our existing package. Also, the ignition system has arrived on the engine, and days later we did get the improved energy store cells. So hopefully down the line at some point we can do the next one when we have enough, resources and also department availability. Now, with that done, we also have now reached level 5, which means we can do another secondary upgrade, and this is going to be for the sponsors, which is also a really key part, and the cash flow of the team. So I had a quick browse and we had some decent options available to us, but I stumbled upon one which hit me straight away and was a pretty fair bet as well, and it's actually going to be the objective that is going to be to try and get driver of the day every single time. That's FedEx, which is also a very well-known sponsor, and that should be fairly achievable. Again, we usually start further back, work our way forward, so 9 times out of 10 that should be an achievable objective. So that we now have 3 sponsors in total, 1 primary, 2 secondary. FedEx will be on the car from the next race, so bear that in mind. And yeah, here we go then. We arrive at China, Shanghai, ready to go with a new race weekend. The forecast is dry, so no rain present so far in this career mode. Also, that triple upgrade we have on the car, all of them are minor, but it does move us above Toro Rosso, and our next target is Renault and McLaren. Up front, Brawn extend their gap over Red Bull, and those two seem to be, the better ones in the field in terms of their overall pace. So far, P7, P4, decent results, decent points so far, and we could have had a podium last time out, but we threw it away with a crucial mistake right at the end. So practice done, we picked up a decent amount of points, that brings our total to 1100, and we hopefully can invest those at the start of every episode. Also constantly improving the acclaim. We've got the rest very close to level 6, and we're also starting to level up now quite nicely. But here we go, into qualifying. Let's get to work, let's get the weekend underway, and let's see what the pace is like. I'm actually still running 95 AI for this session, but I will push it up for the race based off your guys' feedback in the comments. I'm thinking something along the lines of eventually a 5 offset differential between qualifying and race. Something along the lines of maybe like 95, 100, 93, 98, something like that. I mean, there's been another update for this mod, so the handling has changed again, so it's like a constant learning process. I can't quite settle on a number because we're still trying to figure out where the mod is and where the AI are in terms of pace. So first up on the board, a 37.6, and it's ahead of the Resta, but it's only P18 by the time we get to our second run. So I went again to try and push. I was actually really happy with that banker lap. It was actually smooth, no mistakes. maybe just lacked a bit of overall commitment, which we started to find some time on the second run. Also, I feel like there was a lot of track evolution, but either way, we're now up by 0.4 of a second through the second sector split, and we're finding even more time constantly here as we look to close out the lap, and we're over half a second up. By the time we make our way to the final corner, you can see our advantage has grown, and we're going to cross the line with a 6/10 improvement and jump to a 36.9 and P13. So that's not too bad. It gets us somewhat, near our qualifying in Australia. That was with 90 AI. This is now 95, and we qualified way down in Bahrain in P20 last episode. So hopefully we can get a bit more back to form with the pace this weekend. Now, this is it, the final run of qualifying, final attempt. We're going to give it everything and see if I can improve. The last lap felt really good. Again, no mistakes. It was pretty much on the money. So this is going to come down entirely to track evolution and if we find more grip. So far, we're not really improving through turns 1, 2 and 3, although we do get a good exit. So we're going to pretty much level with our previous first sector. Checkered flag drops as we now make our way into turn 5, looking to try and find some lap time. We actually get a bit better late braking, get the rotation and get the exit speed, which gives us a 1/10 of a second. Now through the left and the right in sector 2, the two best corners on the track for me, as we now look to approach this very tricky double left-hander. The first one you have to scrub off a lot of speed, open up the line as you go through the second and try to get the power down as soon as possible, and we are going to be up by over a 1/10 in sector 2. On the brakes, on the anchors, into this left-right chicane, which feeds into that infamous banking corner where you want to try and get the nose and the car into the low part where the camber is, so you can get the power down and really floor it on the exit. And so far, it's been a very good lap, a 1/10.5 up so far with a sector to go, or half a sector to go, and we're going to try and commit. So into the braking zone, into the hairpin, brake just after the 100 with these cars, of course, no DRS, just a general lower speed trap. Second gear, power down on exit, try to avoid the curb on the left as it will make you wall spin, and we actually get a really good bit of traction there through the final corner. Third gear, clip the apex, smooth on exit, and up to the line we go. It's going to be 2.5 quicker, and that gives us P12, which is a much better qualifying return. That is Australia-esque in terms of our pace. Paul di Resta, P21, and Nelson Piquet at the back. And then a few surprises. Hamilton done in P20, not really having a good session there, but all the big boys, all the heavy hitters up in the top 8 as you'd expect. So yeah guys, that's it for qualifying. Happy with that. That's not too shabby. And for the race, we're going to move the AI up to 98. So we should have hopefully a bit more of a challenge on our hands. And like I said, it's constantly going to be just readjusting, finding the balance with this crew. But guys, let's get to the race and let's see what happens in China.
It's time to find out which driver is up to the task of claiming the Chinese Grand Prix. We're here in Shanghai. We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity of the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before the braking zone of turn 14. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
Well, the throttle goes both ways, Crofty. You've got to have the discipline not to try and win the race on the first lap. So always be prepared to lift early and give those around you more space. Trying to be the last of the late breakers with half a dozen cars around you may pay off from time to time, but it's also a great way to lose your front wing.
So, round number 3, the Chinese Grand Prix, a race which we used to do so frequently, but we don't do it anymore, and it's a weird feeling. We don't actually race that often anymore, so it's a bit of a new track, or a bit of an unknown. Anyway, not bad qualifying, and we have a decent starting spot. Now, the one thing that has changed for this race is the difficulty. So, if we go into the preferences and into the gameplay settings, I have raised it for the race to 98. So hopefully, this should give us a bit more of a balanced kind of performance, and it should be a bit of a tougher race. Anyway, that aside, we're going to talk about the strategy for this one. So, I am actually going to run it back, the same strategy as the first 2 races. I'm going to try and make a one-stop work at China, which does historically have very high tyre wear, but I think I can make it work based off the projections we have on tyre wear. Fuel-wise, I'm running about 0.6 kg. Well, 0.6 kg more than what the practice sims were. So again, we may have to do a bit of fuel management with the lean mixture, but that should hopefully be fine. So we have that option if necessary. So yeah, guys, we're going to get into it. Prediction down below, where do you think we'll finish? And could we possibly match the result from the last race? Or could we possibly go on better and get on the podium? Anyway, guys, like the video if you're enjoying. Let's try and smash over 1,000 likes. Subscribe for more if you're new, and let's get to work. Here we go. P12, 28 laps of China, and we're underway. That's a better start. That's more like it compared to other races. Using a bit of rich mix and curves as we race down to turn 1. Going to try and hang on to this inside line as we try to feed it up the inside of Webber into 2. Can I go around the outside of 3? Going to have to try and find some grip here offline. But we make it work. Bit of a snap, but we're into P10. It's a good start, good aggression. Gonna slide one up the inside of Nakajima as well. Got a yellow flag. Oh, bit of a snap on the back end there. Gotta be careful, gonna take a slightly defensive line. Into 5 and 6, just to be sure. Now into 7. Got Rosberg and Kubica here side by side. Looks like everyone's actually gone for a bit of a mix-up on strategy, so we're on mediums as Nakajima, but the majority have elected for softs. Speaking of which, Nakajima up the inside. We'll leave the room, leave the space, but we'll get the inside through here as both Brauns side by side into the banker, Button, Barrichello. That's a good exit. That's a very good exit. That's where my cur's gone. Just going to rely on the rich mix now to see if we can try and challenge Kubica possibly into the hairpin. The Brauns go back at it again. Nowhere near, so we'll just lift and coast with a bit of fuel save. Rosberg gets out of shape though. Didn't quite get the momentum on the exit, although we do force Kubica slightly offline defensive. That's a big moment though. That's not going to help. Right. Lap 1 done. Happy with that. Good start. P9. No complaints. Raikkonen trying to go through here, so I think he's fighting his way back through the field on softs. We're going to try and hold it on the outside, which we managed to just do through 1, and then get the apex into 2. So let's try and see if we can maintain this pace and this position. We're a little bit down on the straights. We're losing out to Kubica especially. Raikkonen not so much, but the BMW Sauber seems pretty speedy on the straights, so we're going to have to figure out a way to get past if we do go for the move. Oh, Kubica out of shape. Just cuts across there. Lost the back end there for a brief second. Kept under control on the gravel. Good save from the pole. I've gone in a bit hot here. I'm going to lose the back end. I'm going to get crossed up. I was trying to get close there to put some pressure on, but we ended up overdriving it. And now we're under pressure from Raikkonen and try and see if I can get low on the banking to get a bit of a better exit and use the banker to get the camber and get the power down early. But looks like we may have lost an opportunity there to get Kubica on the back straight. I had a full charge of Kers as well to deploy. Oh wow, already. Jarno Trulli's in the pits. Meanwhile, Raikkonen getting really close here. Gonna have to go slightly defensive into 1. That's a very early stop. Lap 3. Wow. Those softs must not be lasting one bit. I think we've got a yellow. I think it's behind. Got a full charge of Kers this time. Still can't really get the run. You can see there, Kubica's pretty strong on the straight. Just wondering who that yellow flag is. I think we do have a retirement. I think it's one of the Force Indias. From what I can tell by the colour of the minimap, it looks like a pink car, which is Racing Point / Force India.
Okay, some information on Perez. They've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
So that's one of Fisichella Sutil at the race. As more cars elect to box, including Raikkonen, as we set a personal best. My tyre wear's still fine. 15% on the rear, 12 on the front. I've actually got the rears and the front's a bit more balanced out this time. So we'll see how this kind of pans out. But it looks like those soft tyres are not lasting, so they're going to be on a 2-stop at the very least. Now we're getting close. I've moved the brakes a bit more towards the front to just basically cut out the rear locking. Both Brauns going side by side through the banking. And look at this, now we have the run. And we have a full charge of Kers. Gonna wait a little bit, not use it straight away, so we can use it in the second half of the straight. Now, here we go. Now we're gonna drain the curves, and we're pulling alongside Kubica. Get it stopped on the brakes. Could probably box now anyway, but still got the run, and this time got the move done. Right then, out of battery, and no, Kubica actually stayed out. However, I've got no curves left for this straight. So we'll have to drain some now just to make sure we stay ahead. Look in the mirrors to see if we can try and keep the gap. We're now P4. Medium's now working very well. One of these soft runners are trying to stretch to a 1. Got quite a bit more pace than these two right now, especially Barrichello. Gonna see if we can try and repeat the move from the last lap. Messing with the gears to try and get the rotation down. Ooh, a bit of a slide there. Not quite as close. Also don't have a ton of curves to use, so I don't think we're going to get a chance to go for this one. I'll use what's left. I don't think we're going to get the run here, so we're going to have to hang back for now. We've dropped Kubica, so those softs are really starting to die off now. I'm keen to see what the tyre difference is, so when the AI put fresh tyres on, just how much quicker they are. Race leader pits, and Braun of course will split their cars. So Button in, Barrichello stays out. So that is now second place for us. And about to be first once Barrichello pits. Also got a yellow on the back straight. That's Paul de Resta virtual safety car, which means nothing. We've learnt our lesson now from Australia. Just got to make sure we don't break the delta, but basically don't slow unnecessarily because the VSC doesn't really work. So you have to basically pretend it doesn't exist. It's not going to change to a full safety car, so just got to abide by that delta. So take it easy and just speed at the right time. VSC ending. There we go, good management. So we've lost Paul de Resta for the second time this season. Our teammates are down to 1 car in this race. This time we're close. Back end sliding all over the shop. Into rich revs, getting the curves on the burner. Now we're closing. I think this is worthy of a dive. On the inside of Rubinho. Clean move. P1. Could this be the race? Let's find out. So, pretty much all the soft tyre runners are now in. So we're going to see how those who chose softs are going to fare versus us. This is going to be interesting now, strategy-wise. Nakajima is very quick. I'm setting personal best right now, but he's pressuring me here. Heidfeld also in the mix. It goes to show that I don't think I'm that quick, but I think the strategy is just very strong, at least at the moment. We'll see how it works out long term, but the fact that Williams and the BMW Sauber are keeping up, or possibly faster than me, while I'm on a personal best, just means we're managing the race well, even though we may not have the best pace in the field. Jono Trulli up to P5, battling with Hamilton. He was the first of the cars to pit. Nakajima's got a run on me here, so we're going to defend the inside. So Trulli's flying on that aggressive 2, possibly 3 stop. We'll keep an eye on his progress. Oh wow, Nakajima in the pits. Heidfeld stays out. I could still be a 1, but it depends what tyre he goes for. I reckon that's a false 2 now. I think he might go soft or something. Interesting. I'll go 1 more lap. I feel like Nakajima's probably already undercut us on fresh tyres, as the differential is massive, so I'd rather stretch this stint and take a bit more better tyres at the end of the race. So we've got a decent gap. Tyre was actually fairly spread out compared to other races, so we'll probably pit this lap as Nick Heidfeld now also pits. So we'll try and see if we can try and cover him off at the end of the lap. So Trulli 4.2, he's a direct rival. Hamilton has to stop. He's on the 1 stop by the looks of it. But Glock and Vettel are the next set of rivals, and they're a little bit further back. So let's see how this race pans out. Trulli pits now, so this is interesting, really interesting. So we'll see what pace he has. Glock will stay out 1 more. Hamilton in also, so this is going to be 1-stop territory for some of us. Let's see, 1.8 last race. 3.1, bit of a slow one this time, not as good as the first 2 races. Okay, tyres up to temp as we just come out ahead of Heidfeld, but we're lacking a bit of grip. Nick's going to have a look. I'm trying to get the car to turn in. There's Nakajima, so he has pulled off the undercut and is currently overtaking Kubica. Everyone on hards, which tells me maybe everyone's going to the end. Heidfeld's got a big run here, so we're going to have to defend the inside. I'm going in hot. Oh my god, I have to straight line it to avoid T-boning Kubica. And Heidfeld goes through. Mistake, and Truly's only 2.3 behind now. This race just got really interesting. Oh, Heidfeld having a few moments, struggling to get the rears to fire up. I don't think he spun. Not sure, it might have actually spun to be fair. He was out of control. I think he did spin actually on the banker, so Heidfeld having a massive moment, and that gives us P10 straight back. Truly 1.3. Timo Glock in the pits. And I think that might be everyone. Might be one car or two that may have to pit, but I think everyone now is on the hard tyres going to the end, give or take. Bit of a lock-up. I'm not super happy on this tyre so far. Nakajima having a bit of a moment up ahead and struggling through the banking. Truly on my gearbox. We're going to wait, see what run he gets, and we'll use Kurz in the second half of the straight. Now, there goes Truly, but he's got a big run, really big run. That Toyota's flying. I forgot to put it in rich, I put it in standard by accident. I'll try and challenge on the outside, but Yano's got that one wrapped up already. No answer there. Truly straight through. That Toyota looks very quick. Wow, 39.0. Very quick. Pushing to try and get something here, but that almost cost us. Yano's going for it. That Toyota is absolutely cooking. Gets past Nakajima. Or does he? Nakajima fights it. Around the outside. And they're still side by side. A couple of cars in the pits, interestingly, so we do have some split strategies. Raikkonen and Rosberg pit, and now Truly does get that move done. So P8 for us now. Pace isn't as good this stint, but we can still make things happen, hopefully. Truly going for the move on Kubica now. He's absolutely flying. The last thing you're going to see in this crewman so far is a Truly train. It's the complete opposite. It's the Truly Express. He's cooking away. Meanwhile, I've had a decent run here, using the Kurz to try and get a run on Nakajima, but we just lack a bit of straight line speed. And it's also got very dark all of a sudden, within 30 seconds.
No rain expected. No rain expected for the time being. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Okay, just a bit of a weather front. No actual rain though, so that's okay. Bit of a poor final corner. No more pit stops. I reckon everyone in front may be going to the end now. Oh, Kubica has a moment. Couple of moments. 3 moments. That's going to open the window of opportunity for us. Here we go. We're going to fight for the slipstream here, and we're going to get it, which is crucial. Now we're going to burn the Kurz to try and get on the outside line here. Side by side. Into the hairpin. Around the outside we go. Kubica holds on. I haven't got any Kurz left. Inside line for the final corner. Leaving space. Through we go. Can we hold on down to turn 1? I'll use a bit of Kurz. And let's take a defensive line. Nakajima trying to go through as well. But that is P6 for us now. Great double overtake. Taking advantage of Kubica's struggle there. Through the banker. And we go through, and that is another couple of places gained for us, which is good because Timo Glock was absolutely flying behind and was catching, so we're glad to put a couple of cars between us. Wow, 38.3. Yeah, Glock is absolutely flying. Yellow flag. Mistake. Oh my god. Mark Webber's backwards mistake, lost the car at the final corner. Close to the best. We're dropping to the 39s, which is progress, and that is now P5 for us. Mark Webber with a cheap gift. We're getting a position for free. Yeah, the Toyotas are absolutely mental. They are so quick. Also, is that Glock in P7? About to be P6 by the looks of it. He's cooking away. Yep, there we go. Oh, another yellow. Is that Yano? No, it's Barrichello. Barrichello's had a mistake, but he's got going again, so maybe a little spin and go for Rubens. But he still holds on to a top 4. Glock's pretty close. I've had a good exit out of the banker. We'll use a bit of Kers, but Glock is in the slipstream. We're going to get the Kers back on now to try and fight this one. And now we're out of juice. Onto the hairpin. Car's nice and light on fuel now, so we can fight this on the brakes a bit more. Glock holds on though. Look at the exit. Trying to force him offline. Going to get a bit of a switch back here. Onto the main straight. We'll get the Kers on now over the line to try and fight. Glock on the inside goes through. Going to try and get back underneath here. And be sneaky. Come on. Yes. Straight back through. Lovely move. We're not out of the woods yet though. Glock's going to be here the whole way. And he's right on me already here. Under turn 5. Hold the inside, hold the inside. Oh, big snap, but we hold on. For now, I've got no Kers left, which is going to put us in a bit of a tricky situation here. We need to nail the banking. I hope Glock has a bit of a poor exit, which is the case. I've got no Kers left, so this is all we've got right now. Nah, he's got way too much overspeed. We'll try and hold it, but Glock goes through. Trying to outbrake him there, but pretty much even. But the momentum of the higher top speed took him in further into the corner. So Glock finally goes through. So I think this is where we're going to finish, barring any last minute changes. I'm confident I can hold on to Kubica and Nakajima, so let's try and bring this one home. Here we go then, last lap of the race. Really good performance. Car was brilliant to drive, even with the increased AI difficulty. Currently on a personal best, trying to see if I can maybe get below a 39 using all the bells and whistles here. Let's see. Through the final corner. It's going to be close. Either way, good points yet again. Consistent and a great race pace.
So another fantastic victory for Red Bull today. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy and to stay out of trouble.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
So there we go then, race done. My voice is starting to go, so I'm going to keep this very brief. Truly, P2, Button had a 5-second time pen, so that dropped him a place. Sebastian Vettel wins in China, the exact same race I believe they won in real life, which was their first win in China 2009, is also the one that happens in the game. A pretty good mix. Red Bull, Toyota, Braun, 97, Williams, Renault, BMW Sauber and Ferrari all in the top 11, so quite a decent mix there. But crucially, it's a good day at the office. Decent points and we can go happy into the next round, looking pretty good in the championship. So speaking of which, P6 in the drivers, 22 off the top as Button takes the lead, Vettel into second, Glock third, truly with that result into the top 5. And then in the constructors, Braun lead the way, but Toyota hot on their heels, and we are currently in a very good P5 and not too far off Williams, which could be a possible target. Ferrari McLaren, BMW Sauber, Renault struggling to get off the line so far this season. So we'll see how things progress over the rounds. But guys, if you enjoyed, like, subscribe. As always, a big shout out to the members of the channel for supporting all the content that I make. As always, check out the 2 videos on screen. And yeah guys, I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and it's goodbye from me.